Yes, I'm filming this again in a whole batch. But it's better than last time because these are like 2 days since I watched them, so they're fresh from my memory. I also forgot to mention last video that I had a haircut. Upon looking at the video I just recorded like literally seconds ago, I saw that the previous videos had my hair up to here, and it is fucking hot here in the Philippines, dog. We are running temperatures of like nearing 40 degrees Celsius. I'm a Filipino. I grew up in Qatar. I'm used to hot temperatures, but this is crazy. Like ever since I got sick a few years ago, I'm nonstop sweating, and this is I just couldn't handle having long hair anymore. So yeah, welcome. And then we're talking about the official Hater Club movie challenge, and for week 11. It was possession or exorcism week, and so I took this opportunity to just cross out a big blind spot I've had, especially as a horror fan. It's just a movie fan, but especially as a horror fan, I have not seen The Exorcist. Now, as a Filipino, The Exorcist is kind of notorious around here because it is one of the films that were banned here in the Philippines. We haven't been really banning a lot of movies lately, except with the whole thing with China's 9-9. But besides that, we haven't uh, ever since the 90s, we haven't been too like clutching our pearls on like oh, we cannot show that to the Filipino people, like we haven't done that in a while. But I remember that The Exorcist was one of the most famous ones, and it's been banned in numerous countries all over the world. And I remember that because it took very long for The Exorcist to be unbanned. And so yeah, this was a big blind spot for me. It's very legendary, obviously, not just because of that context, just in the whole wider film and horror context. It's a very very famous movie, and yeah, and unfortunately, I have to say I think it was a bit too hyped. I don't want to besmirch Mr. William Friedkin, the late great William Friedkin. But I do have to say that the direction is the best part of this movie. See, I'm not one of those guys that dislikes a horror movie because I don't find them scary. Like that is secondary to the quality of the movie, in my opinion. And this is just a combination of me not personally finding it scary, and just not the whole product, the whole machine that this movie is presenting to us just did not work very much for me. I think because it is quite heavily hinged on you being scared by the happenings, and this could have probably given American Protestants heart attacks, but Filipino Catholics, this is like all these Americans were like, oh, the Catholics, they do this, they're so scary, the Catholic, oh my God, Catholicism. But like here, that's already been a thing, and like we 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 do Catholic horror so much better here. That's all I'm gonna say. Like your aunt in the Philippines has a scarier Catholic story, probably a scarier exorcism story than the Exorcist can ever dream of getting. And like, I it's a very I didn't watch the director's cut. Me and my girlfriend, I watched this with my girlfriend again, and we had to like look up afterwards to clarify some things, and we found out that it was explained better in the book and in the director's cut. So maybe I should watch a director's cut. But yeah, The Exorcist. Side tangent. I also watched The Exorcist the day of accidentally deleting like about 300 gigabytes of my fucking movies on my laptop, permanently deleting, and so I've been rebuilding ever since. But that has been the scariest thing uh, I have experienced that day, and I did watch The Exorcist, and my point still stands. And yeah, I don't know what to say. Like the makeup is great. It's pretty gnarly. Um, Vibe is great. Like I said, the direction is by far the best part of this. There's a really great eerie atmosphere all throughout, and I guess later on in these movies, I told you I will talk about like movies that have been so cemented in pop culture, and and my first time seeing them, I was worried about like, okay, these when stuff like that happened, when a movie is so famous that it's been referenced over and over again, actually watching the movie sometimes becomes unrewarding because you feel as though you've watched this whole thing just from how many times it's been referenced and been alluded to in other media. And there are later on there's gonna be an example where that isn't the case, but this I think it's definitely the case. I think the best it had to offer has been spoiled to me from the Simpsons and SNL and all these meta referential pieces of media all throughout history. So yeah, I guess I couldn't really get into it. It just wasn't my thing. It felt a bit slow, and again, like what it had to offer me has already been spoiled to me. And so and besides that, it just didn't hold up, besides its most famous parts, which again have already been spoiled to me. It really doesn't amount to anything except some really great atmospheric directing, really nice makeup, awesome makeup, and of course the really great performances. But besides that, I don't know. Watch something else. It's kind of crazy that The Exorcist is the worst movie I've seen throughout this whole challenge. I feel very sacrilegious saying that. So yeah, but it is what it is.